safety. This network, that giant tree, saved my life.
The network more people rely on gives you more. Like unlimited with Apple Music included, and big savings on our best phones when you switch. That's Verizon.
Nutrition can seem overwhelming. Even if you try to eat well, you might fall short in key nutrients. Get more by adding One a Day. It's the #1 multivitamin uniquely designed for men and women. One pill once a day. One a day and done.
The NCAA Baseball Regionals is presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet? And in part by Toyota. Let's go places. And Nestle Pure Life. 100% pure quality water.
There you see Nick Bennett, junior left-hander from Cincinnati, Ohio. He is going on 2 days rest. Threw 93 pitches in the win over the University of Illinois Chicago on Friday. And Dan McDonald's going back with him here today to start this one, Bert.
Yeah, interesting decision. This would be his side day. So he started on Friday, and he's pitching on 2 days rest. He was going to throw a 30, 40 pitch bullpen anyway. So they said, look, he wanted the ball. They're going to run him out there to start this ball game. Pretty good versus UIC. Not great. Really settled down in the middle part of that ball game. But definitely an interesting decision. We'll see what he has in the tank.
Well, Illinois State, the pride of Normal, Illinois, a couple of hours southwest of Chicago. They draw it up this way. John Rave will lead it off again. This lineup had only 3 hits last night against Louisville starter Luke Smith, and none were hit hard.
Yeah, it was a really slow offensive day for a team that's been fantastic all season long. And John Rave and Joe Isles, these are their guys. So Joe Isles, who has been very good in this regional, the Missouri Valley Conference Player of the Year, they're going to need some big hits out of him if they're going to stay in this ball game.
Can't believe it. We have been blessed with great weather during this entire regional. We've got it again on this Monday, winner take all. John Rave takes the first pitch.
I don't think I've ever done a regional without a weather delay. It's been fantastic.
2 balls and no strikes to John Rave, the leadoff man. First team All Missouri Valley Conference. 3 for 12 in the regional. The junior from Bloomington, Illinois. Way ahead in the count here. It's 3-0. And there's a strike from Nick Bennett. Missed a couple of starts in May against Notre Dame and Virginia because of arm fatigue. Obviously, that is all behind Bennett as he works quickly and gets strike 2. It's a full count to the leadoff man.
Yeah, I think if you're Roger Williams and you're Dan McDonald, you like the fact that he wanted the ball, but you're definitely going to be watching him to see what kind of energy he has and what kind of life is on the baseball.
And it's fought off and fouled back. Well, one thing for sure, he's going to show emotion.
Yes.
We know that. We saw that in his first outing.
Yeah, boy, it was a bit of a slow start for him, and then once he settled in the middle part of that ball game, started striking dudes out. He came out of his shell.
Again, the 3-2, and again, flick foul by John Rave, who could go as high as the 3rd round. The draft will start tonight in Major League Baseball, and we've been talking to some people here this week. They think he may even sneak into the 2nd round.
Yeah, well, the talent is unique. He can really run.
Lifted toward the gap, left center field, long run for the center fielder Lucas Dunn, but he covers a lot of real estate, and there's one away. Dan McDonald, in his 13th year as head coach at Louisville, this is his 12th trip to the national tournament. He's taken the Cardinals to the College World Series 4 times.
Yeah, Super Regionals in 6 of the last 7, trying to make it 7 of 8. He has built Louisville baseball into a behemoth. They are one of the great programs in America. The most wins in college baseball since 2010, 4 times to the College World Series, and knocking on the door again this year.
5th-year senior captain Derek Parola stands in now. He's starting at second base again. 5 for 11 in the regional with a couple of runs batted in. All 5 of those hits came in the Friday game against Indiana. He was 5 for 6 in that contest. Got out to a great start here in the national tournament. A little quiet here the last couple of days.
Has played great defense, though. This is a young man, kind of a glue guy for this club.
And that's what Steve Holmes said. He's the head coach for Illinois State in his first year. And Derek Parola helped him out a ton during the transition. And it's 3-1 to Parola. There's Coach Steve. Missouri Valley Conference Coach of the Year. Has improved the Redbirds by 14 wins from 2018. Back up the middle off of Bennett. And it's going to carry him over toward the first baseman, Logan Wyatt. Parola's got an infield hit off the hip of Nick Bennett, the starting pitcher.
Let's see where that got him. That, fortunately, looks like he's moving just fine. They catch him, yeah, like just above the hip, or maybe didn't look like it hit him in the ribs, or certainly he would be down. But either way, he's showing zero signs of effect from that, so that's promising.
So Parola's aboard with the first hit of the day. Bennett working from the stretch, and he'll throw over to first. Jordan Libman at the plate now, junior designated hitter. He's been the primary DH since the first part of April. Lineup really hasn't changed much the last couple of months for Illinois State, who was picked 6th in the Missouri Valley Conference. And that was despite, Chris, the team returning 7 position players, 49 of the 52 mound starts. But the people who, vote on this stuff, they thought, new head coach. They didn't win a lot last year. We're going to pick them 6th in the 8-team league.
Well, and if you look at the numbers of the returning players, while yes, they're returning, they weren't exactly spectacular. So this is a program that just hadn't been a regional since 2010. And there was not a whole lot of reason to think a 22-win club with a first-year head coach was going to make a big jump. But Steve Holm, who was part of the turnaround at Purdue in just 2 short years with Mark Wazakowski there at Purdue, has really made a name for himself just in 1 season here at Illinois State. A fantastic coaching job getting these kids to play at such a high level.
The 0-2 pitch, that's outside to Jordan Libman, the 3-hole hitter for Illinois State here in the top of the first. We've got 4 of the super regional matchups set for next weekend. The other 4 will be figured out today, including this one.
A lot of good baseball today, man. The gift that keeps on giving. College baseball taking you into Monday with a packed schedule.
Parola at first, and they're going to check on him again. With the left-hander, of course, it's always tricky. Make sure you've got a safe enough lead. They are so hard to read.
Oh, yeah, and Bennett knows how to play it now a little bit. It's not just a token move. He'll give you a little double move there with the head, and has some guile to him, a left-hander that knows how to control the running game.
That one's spoiled by Libman. Really good crowd starting to come into Patterson Stadium. There's still some seats empty, but they're filling quickly. Some people playing hooky here today on this Monday.
We got the Cardinals playing to go to the Supers, man. We got to call in sick today. Hopefully there's a lot of understanding bosses in town today.
Just a glorious day for baseball. Not a lot of wind today. We've had quite a bit of wind and blowing out the last 3 days. Breaking ball. Ground ball could be 2. To second for 1. To first. Double play. Parola gets the infield hit. Bennett gets the ground ball he was looking for, and there's that emotion we talked about.
How about it? The Cardinal defense, 6-4, 3 to get him off the field. Good start for Nick Bennett.
Back here in Louisville, Kentucky, home of the Louisville Slugger. And the Louisville Cardinals were sluggers yesterday. They scored 20 runs in 2 games.
Yeah, boy, it was a fast start to the day yesterday for Louisville. And obviously, you never want to lose that 1-0 game in a regional, but the silver lining was that they were able to put a new lineup out there and really get it going. Lucas Dunn still at the leadoff spot, but after that, they moved Logan Wyatt from 4 to 2. Fitzgerald stays at 3. Pinellas now hitting cleanup. Snyder, who'd been hitting first or second, goes down to 5. And Pinellas, second among freshmen in the ACC in home runs. He will be a freshman All-American, and he played like it yesterday.
The Cardinals 46-16 after the 2 wins yesterday. 9-7 over Indiana, 11-2 over Illinois State. Lucas Dunn is at the plate. And the first pitch from Colton Johnson is a strike. Junior from Kewanee, Illinois, small town in the northwest part of that great state. The left-hander, 4-1 with a 4.87 ERA. And this is just his 4th start of the year, Berkey, first since April the 17th. And we saw him struggle in relief against Indiana on Friday.
Yeah, it was a real struggle against Indiana, and that's not the pitcher that they've grown accustomed to seeing from him all season long. He is their most trusted bullpen arm, and earlier this season at Vanderbilt threw 3 scoreless innings, punched out 4 in 3 scoreless innings. So he's also had a scoreless 5 1/3 against Illinois early in the year. So no stranger to facing big-time competition.
And a big-time leadoff hitter in Lucas Dunn, the sophomore from Panama City Beach, Florida. Has a 2-2 count. 3 for 14, a couple of runs batted in for Dunn here this weekend. And he's the starting center fielder again today. And he's going to go down swinging. Good start for Colton Johnson. And they have received really good starting pitching this weekend.
Yeah, really just besides yesterday, it's been fantastic. I will say this. I feel like this first inning, Clay, really matters in this ball game. Not that every inning doesn't, but after the way that Louisville really put it on Illinois State yesterday.
There's an inside-out swing to left. Jeremy Gaines can't make the catch. His first career start in left field, and he can't come up with that sinking liner from Logan Wyatt. I talked about the lineup not changing much over the last couple of months for Illinois State. This is a change today for Steve Holm.
And I think he got caught in between, Clay. I think he was trying to decide, do I need to dive? Do I not need to dive? And ultimately he goes down, and as he does, that ball just kind of pops out of the webbing of his glove. Sometimes we take for granted that every time these players get a ball in their glove, it sticks, but not always quite that simple, and that'll go as an error, which is kind of surprising, but certainly a play I think Jeremy thinks he should make.
Gunnar Peterson has been patrolling left field the last few days, but Steve Holm going with Jeremy Gaines, the sophomore, who had the game-winning hit in the win over Louisville on Saturday. And now here's Tyler Fitzgerald at the plate. Junior from Rochester, Illinois. Starting shortstop. He should be a promising draft choice. He has improved a ton as a hitter over the last few years. He hit .208 a couple of years ago. His average .322 coming into the day today.
Yeah, and you look at that, that's a pretty loud RBI total right there. 62 runs driven in. Just been a huge force in this lineup. Dan McDonnell knew he was going to be transitioning this year offensively, and he really needed Fitzgerald to step up in a big way, and the fact that he's been able to fill in the void at the 3-hole and drive in as many runs as he has made this offense a totally different animal.
Off speed, 3-1 to Tyler Fitzgerald. Drafted in the 30th round by the Red Sox out of high school. Turned that down to come to Louisville. 3-1 pitch, in on the hands, back to the net.
You say he hit .208 as a freshman. Last year, .264, 3 and 24. I mean, 3 and 24. This year he's got, and he played every day. This year he's got 7 and 62. So, you hope that kids make jumps year after year. It doesn't always happen exactly like that. But Tyler Fitzgerald certainly has. He's made a big, big jump with the bat.
Down and in, walked him. 2 on, 1 out, and here comes big Alex Binelas, the freshman from Oak Creek, Wisconsin.
He put on a show yesterday, a large one to dead center field, just a bomb over the 402 sign. That kind of got him rocking and rolling, and then hit another rocket off the right center field wall. So it was hit a foul homer in the second game. I mean, the power stroke definitely was back from Mr. Binelas yesterday.
Second team All-ACC, was in the running for Conference Freshman of the Year. That went to Aaron Sabato at North Carolina.
I think equally as impressive as his offensive explosion this year is the way he has held down the fort at third base. I mean, you're talking about a man as a true freshman. It's hard to crack this lineup as a true freshman, but he has been a rock on offense and defense for this club.
And Johnson's going to look the runner to second back. Alex Pinellas this season among Division I freshmen, tied for 7th in the country with the 14 homers. Huge slugging percentage. Ooh. He is the first Louisville freshman to hit double-digit homers since Chris Dominguez in 2007.
Who's in the ballpark this afternoon, by the way.
Bouncing ball to first, gloved by Jack Butler. He'll step on the bag. It's going to move the runners along to second and third. 2 outs, and that'll bring up Jake Snyder.
Yeah, Chris Dominguez, who was part of the first Louisville College World Series team in 2007, Dan McDonald's first year, is here watching the boys this afternoon.
A lot of kids from the Midwest making up this Louisville roster. You got Pinellas from Wisconsin. This guy, Jake Snyder, he's from Champaign, Illinois. We talked about Fitzgerald at length. He's from Rochester, Illinois. That's kind of how Dan McDonald does it.
Well, yeah, he goes from Kentucky up, and they have made a living there.
Swing and a miss by Jake Snyder. The junior 6 for 16 with a homer and 3 runs batted in here in the tournament. He hit his first home run of the year to lead off the 4th last night. And believe it or not, 3 of his 4 career homers, he only has 4, have come in the NCAA tournament. I mean, this guy shows up come June.
Yeah, he's made his homers count. There haven't been many of them in his career here in Louisville, but he has made them count. And I think it's part of the reason Dan McDonald has switched him down to the 5-hole is he realizes he has a player that seems to kind of find his stride come postseason time. It's probably nice to have him up here with a couple on.
Colton Johnson trying to work around trouble here in the first. And he may have done it, but this is going to be a tough play for Huggins, the shortstop, and he won't have a play. A run scores, and Louisville breaks out in front here in the inning.
If you're going to beat Louisville in their own building, you better play good defense. Jeremy Gaines already missed a fly ball and left, and now Aiden Huggins on a ball that really jammed up Jake Snyder. You got to know as an infielder, when the hitter gets jammed, they're not going to get out of the box as well. See how long it took Snyder to get out of the box? And Huggins decides to barehand a ball that's rolling pretty fast where a hitter got jammed. To me, that's a mental mistake that cost the Redbirds a run.
Yeah. That's the first hit of the inning for Louisville. And yet they've had 3 base runners, already have a run, and now Danny Oriente, who's leading the team in batting average, is at the plate. This is a lineup that runs deep. We're now into the 6th hole for Louisville, and just now we're getting to the leader in batting average for the Cardinals.
And the leader in RBIs for this regional for the Cardinals. So a really big spot. I said to start the inning, the first inning felt big to me based on the way yesterday went. Not going so high for the Redbirds so far.
Colton Johnson delivers a strike here to Oriente. It's 1-1.
And it's not Colton Johnson's fault. I mean, he could have easily had 3 up, 3 down. And, you know, obviously the walk to Fitzgerald wasn't great. So face the minimum, I should say. But the defense has not played up to the standard that we've seen in the first few games.
1-1 pitch, lash foul. Oriente Jr. from Downers Grove, Illinois. He's the designated hitter. He hit a 2-run homer, his first of the year, in the bottom of the 2nd inning against UIC on Friday, and it really changed the feel of that game.
Well, this ballpark starts to play a little smaller come this time of year. Not that it ever plays huge, but it's one of the bigger parks, and when the wind blows in, it can really be tough for hitters to hit it out.
Went down, chased it. That's a strikeout for Johnson to get out of the inning with only 1 run across. Number 41, that's the jersey of Louisville closer Michael McAveen. He's the star pitcher at the back end of the bullpen. The junior right-hander was ejected yesterday for arguing balls and strikes in that game with Indiana. He's suspended for 4 games now, which means he's unavailable for the Super Regionals' first 2 games should Louisville make it.
Yeah, that was a really unfortunate situation. Really, the whole end of that game against Indiana was unfortunate, and specifically the fact that McAveen got tossed for what appeared to be not much of a reaction. The phrase "that's horrible" in the intensity of an elimination game doesn't feel like something that should get you thrown out. And look, that's horrible is what he says as he kind of turns his back. And I don't think it warranted being thrown out of the game, and it certainly doesn't warrant the 4-game suspension that is mandatory for a pitcher when they get thrown out of the game. Changes the whole landscape of Louisville's bullpen.
Swung on and fouled off by Joe Isles, the cleanup hitter, Valley Conference Player of the Year. And Ken Langford, as it happens, is the third base umpire today. He was the umpire that ejected McAveen. And again, there is no appeal on that suspension.
That's it, 4 games. So he would not be available to pitch again if Louisville advanced game 3 of a Super Regional. And where my real issue with it is, not only do I feel bad for the player to be tossed out of a moment like that, but it really hits at the integrity of the tournament to a degree, Clay. Yeah. Because I mean, if they advance, whoever they play is certainly facing a weakened Cardinal roster.
And up on the bridge there, free Mike flies. Swung out and missed. Joe Isles is going to be a strikeout victim of Nick Bennett here in the 2nd inning. So he has faced the minimum so far as he starts work here in the 2nd inning. Brian Hoeing is warming up for Louisville.
Yeah, I think this will be it for Nick Bennett. Excuse me. This, again, is supposed to be his pin day. He threw on Friday. He was going to get hot and throw off the mound today, so they said, let's go with one of our trusted guys just to get us off to a good start, and so far so good.
Joe Butler, junior from Channahon, Illinois, puts it in play on the first pitch from Bennett. Well, Bennett could pitch a long time if he keeps getting first pitch swings like that. Butler's a quick out, 2 away.
Yeah, I mean, 3-0 to the first couple hitters, but since then he's really settled in nicely.
Jeremy Gaines is 1 for 1 in the regional. That one was a big one. Game-winning pinch hit, 2-run double Saturday against Louisville. The sophomore from Oak Park, Illinois. His first plate appearance today. He was hit by a pitch last night. Those are his only 2 at-bats here in the tournament.
And let's be honest, that was one of the funnest moments of the weekend. I mean, the emotion of this young man on that base hit was what tournament baseball is all about. Watch this, folks. So you're facing Reed Detmers. Reed Detmers going to pitch forever in the big leagues, okay? Jeremy Gaines comes in off the bench in a packed house, gets a 2 RBI double. Watch this. Let's go. That's emotion. You got to love it.
Ooh, breaking ball. Crowd thought that was strike 2. It's not. That was a great moment. Gaines will never forget it. Making just his 13th start here today and his first ever start in left field. And he had an error in the first inning. That's tough to be placed out there in this big game 7. Yeah. We talked about it. There's a lot of pressure.
No doubt. And he gets a tweener right off the bat of Logan Wyatt that is a tough play from any outfielder, much less one that hasn't been out there much.
Another big-time inning from Nick Bennett going on just 2 days rest. No problem. An inning and a half, 1-0. NCAA tournament headlines as we get ready to wrap up the regional round. The last 2 College World Series champs are done. Oregon State got eliminated in Corvallis. Florida got knocked out. They were the champs 2 years ago. 4 SEC teams of the 6 that made the tournament that are still alive, I should say, are going to host Supers. And Florida State knocks off number 4 Georgia. Mike Martin reaching his 17th Super Regional in his 40th and final season as head coach of the Seminoles.
Incredible. 17 out of 21. Mike Martin has made Super Regionals. 17 out of 21. And it's been a storybook career, and it's shaping up for a storybook ending.
Drew Campbell trying to bunt his way on here to start the second inning for the Cardinals. Not going to happen. Nick Zoris throws a seed to the first baseman, Jack Butler.
Well, that was a nice play by Zoris. We saw Campbell bunt for a hit earlier in this regional. Not his best effort here, but again, if you can run any ball out in no man's land, you got a shot. Unfortunately for him, Nick Zoris makes a great throw. Let's see if Campbell gets to the front part of the base here. Kind of landed on the top back part of the base, which costs himself a little time. You always want to run to the front edge of that bag. Save yourself just a little bit of time, but nice play there from Zoris.
Justin Levy at the plate now for the Cardinals. Junior from Kenosha, Wisconsin, playing second base. 6 for 14, 3 runs batted in the last few days. He's going to fly to right. Joe Isles camps under it. He'll make the catch. So Colton Johnson gets a couple of quick outs here in the second inning. I'll bring up Zeke Pinkham, the number 9 hitter. There's Steve Holm. We're going to be talking to him next half inning. Steve Holm has an interesting resume. He's been in college baseball, but he's been in pro baseball.
Yeah.
He played in the major leagues for a time. He came up as a shortstop, but he ended up playing catcher in the big leagues. I mean, he's seemingly done it all.
Yeah, he really has, and so it gives him a tremendous background to be able to coach an entire team, not just a segment of the team. He's kind of done it all, as you said. He's college shortstop, and the Giants decided to make him a catcher, so he had to start from scratch and go to rookie ball and learn how to do that. Got to the big leagues and spent parts of 4 seasons in the big leagues, and then started his coaching career as a pitching coach, and has been a part of a couple really impressive rebuilds with Purdue and now Illinois State.
The senior captain fouls it off for Louisville. He's batting in the 9 spot. Zeke Pinkham, 2 for 7 here in the regional. Freshman Henry Davis started Saturday and the first game yesterday for Louisville, but they're going back to their veteran. It's going to be another strikeout for Colton Johnson. That's what Steve Holm likes to see. That's a 1-2-3 inning. Back here in Louisville on this beautiful Monday. Game that's going to decide who goes to the Super Regionals. Illinois State and the number 7 national seed Louisville Cardinals. Here's Redbirds head coach Steve Holm, Missouri Valley Conference Coach of the Year.
Coach, before the game, you sounded confident that your left-hander Colton Johnson could go out there and execute. What have you seen from him so far?
I mean, he's throwing strikes now. He's kind of got in a little bit of a groove there, which is helping him get that breaking ball over. Obviously, the first inning, they got the one. You know, you look at it, and, they hit the 1 ball hard, and then that jam shot kind of, drove in that 1 run. But other than that, he's been pretty good, so I like the groove he's in right now.
First year on the job so far, a great success. What do you think this exposure, this trip to the regionals is going to do for your program?
Well, I think it's huge, obviously. It helps you on the recruiting side, but more than anything, you got a lot of, sophomores and juniors on this club that'll be back that, anytime that we've done something for the first time, it's been hard. And then the second time they, obviously get more relaxed and comfortable with it. And, going forward, I think you can build off of those type of things.
Well, thank you, Coach. We appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me.
Good luck.
Guys.
Steve Holm. Again, improved the Redbirds by 14 wins. And it could be more.
Yeah, it's really been remarkable. You look at the seasons that some of these kids have had compared to what they did last year. It's quite an impressive turnaround.
That's a foul ball for Nick Zoris as Illinois State is hitting against Brian Hoeing. We'll talk more about Hoeing in just a second, but look at this schedule. What a meat grinder for Illinois State. So many road games. In fact, 36 true road games, and they won 19 of them.
Yeah, that right there, folks, if you're wondering how mid-majors get in that large selection, you got to do what Illinois State did this season. 36 road games. They won 19 of them. They beat Vanderbilt at Vanderbilt, the number 4 non-conference strength of schedule, and then obviously regular season champions in a really good Missouri Valley League.
Fitzgerald has played a sharp shortstop so far. He started a double play. Each inning he's fielded a ground ball. There's one down, and Butler comes up. Here's Brian Hoeing. On in relief of Nick Bennett. You said it, Berkey. You didn't think Bennett was going to go very long, and Dan McDonald brings in Hoeing to start the third.
Yeah, and I think part of the reason they wanted to do it that way was just so guys like Hoeing, who have gotten used to throwing out of the bullpen, can stay in a similar routine. So the rest of the way, whoever they bring in will be obviously coming in out of the bullpen in roles that they've grown accustomed to filling throughout the course of the season. And Nick Bennett gave them all they could have hoped for. He was fantastic.
Jack Butler up there now, the sophomore first baseman for Illinois State. In case you're wondering, Bennett threw only 29 pitches. 18 in the first inning, just 11 in the second inning. Yeah, he was on 2 days rest, but it was pretty effortless out there today.
It was. Yeah, it started just a little shaky, but boy, once he got that double play ball, it was cruise control there in the second inning, and now he gets to do what he's great at, which is cheerlead.
Inside to Butler. Did I accidentally just write on your pants? I'm sorry. That's lead too. I use a pencil to keep my score. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
It'll come out in the wash. Send me the dry cleaning bill.
So I'll have Sarah send you a nasty text.
I'm sorry.
It's bad.
I was trying to use the garbage can back here and I swiped you.
Clean it up.
It's been fun spending time with you again this weekend.
Glad you feel that way.
Jack Butler, no relation to Joe Butler, who hit last inning and is playing third base. I'll tell you, these two Butlers, though, have been great at the corners.
Really good, no doubt about it. I've been really impressed with Jack Butler and his play around the bag at first base. Just a smooth fielding first baseman.
And Jack draws a walk, so he'll go down to first. And Brian Hoeing will be pitching from the stretch. Let's take a look at this bullpen for Louisville and how good it's been in the postseason. 9 innings, just 3 runs allowed, an ERA just above 2.
Yeah, they've been fantastic. They've really answered the bell all season long. A group that is really talented. One thing that Roger Williams, the pitching coach, and of course Dan McDonald, the head coach, have built here at Louisville is it is a stable of arms, and they have notoriously had really good arms that can bridge the gap and always a power arm at the end.
The number 9 hitter, shortstop Aiden Huggins, swings at the first pitch, and he flies out to center. 2 down and back to the top, and John Rave. And the Louisville bullpen, they only used 1 arm yesterday. I should say in the game last night.
Yeah, I mean, because Lucas Smith gave him such a great start.
He was terrific.
Oh, they are. There's Lucas Smith right there. He's holding the walkie-talkie now. He's earned himself a day where he doesn't even have to put the spikes on. He was a superstar last night for the Cardinals.
He retired 10 in a row at one point. After the game, he was telling the media, he goes, you know, they were chanting Luke, 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 but I never heard my name chanted before, so I actually thought they were booing me.
Well, you know, I always told my wife, every time I played with a Luke or a Lucas, I always kind of envied the fact that they would immediately become fan favorites because the name just...
Yeah.
And there's one of the great Louisville basketball players of all time is Luke Hancock, who was the Final Four MVP in 2013. And the crowd used to say Luke every time he did a 3. Well, they were saying Luke a bunch last night, Clay. He put on a shot at the bare hand play that saved the run, and then from there it just went cruise control. He had the curveball going, the elevated fastball, and of course the emotion. The whole team was jacked up all game long.
John Rave thrown out by Justin Levy. Butler walks, but Brian Hoeing works around that walk. Game 1 of the best of 3 Women's College World Series comes your way tonight from Oklahoma City, number 2 UCLA, taking on number 1 Oklahoma, 7:30 ESPN and the ESPN app. UCLA baseball has a big one against LMU tonight.
Yeah.
They beat LMU 6-1 last night at Jackie Robinson Stadium, forcing another game tonight. That'll be at 10 Eastern time. Swing and a miss here from Lucas Dunn, the leadoff man in the third for Louisville. You know, no #1 national seed has won the College World Series since '99. That was the first year they went to this super regional format. And, you know, I think that's because there's a target on your back. You know, the #1 national seed, which the Bruins are this year, and it hasn't come easy in their regional.
No, yeah, here they are in a Game 7. You certainly like their spot. The pitching just never stops with UCLA.
Well, Dunn goes down swinging for the second time against Colton Johnson. So here's the UCLA regional. Loyola Marymount and UCLA tonight. Creighton and Michigan to decide the Corvallis regional. And that's, of course, where Oregon State was.
Yeah, raise your hand if you had that one in the regional final. Of course, Michigan, representing the Big Ten, has a whole bunch of arms. Eric Bakich has built a great program up there in Ann Arbor. And Creighton, who KP told me before the tournament started, he said, watch the Jays. They can really hit. Well, here they are in a regional final. And wouldn't that be something if they win? And LMU wins.
Wow. A couple of underdogs.
Does Creighton host at TD Ameritrade? It'd be interesting.
That's a question. You know, if Illinois State wins this game and Campbell wins in Greenville,
yeah, what
who hosts
there
in the Super? We're keeping an eye on that one, of course, because those two regionals match up next weekend. ECU right now leading 3-2 over the Fighting Camels in the top of the second.
We already got action. Elimination Monday.
Logan Wyatt, the first baseman, reached on an error his first time up from deep second base. Parola way out on the outfield. Can't say grass. It's turf here in Louisville. And they're 2 down.
Now think about it. As great as the NCAA tournament is, okay, the first weekend of the NCAA basketball tournament, it never gets you to Monday. You know, you Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It never takes you into Monday. I mean, come on, we're giving you a Monday, folks.
Yeah,
I mean,
you get parts of 2 weeks with this baby.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
Now Tyler Fitzgerald, who walked and was stranded in the first inning. The shortstop has played really well defensively. There have been a couple of times where, you know, he hasn't looked sharp, but the good has far outweighed the bad with his glove work this weekend.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, a little unsettled maybe early on, but he's made some really nice plays over the last 3 games, and he's been rock solid all season long. Look, the defense that he's played all year has gotten him to the point where Coach Dan McDonnell thinks he's going to be drafted somewhere in the top 5 rounds. And the jump with the bat that we talked about his last AB certainly has to have pro teams interested, because you know the body plays. He's shown he can play third, he can play short, of course he can play second. So there's a lot to like about this young prospect.
6'3", 205 pounds. His dad, Mike, caught in the big leagues for quite a few years, from 1983 to 1992 with a few different teams. And he coached Tyler's travel ball team when they were kids. Jake Snyder was on that team. 2-2. Swung on and missed. A couple of strikeouts in the inning for Colton Johnson. He has retired 7 in a row. We're going to talk to Coach Mack next. Winner take all, Game 7. Here at the Louisville Regional, the #7 national seed leading Illinois State 1-0 as we move into the 4th. And here comes head coach Dan McDonnell.
Coach, you started your left-hander on short rest today. What were the different elements that went into that decision?
He's such a competitor. You know, yesterday he was pacing up and down the dugout, making sure we knew he wanted the ball. He came by the office last night after the game. He came this morning, sent a text message. And, you know, it's a bullpen day anyway for him. So, you know, we were obviously smart and conservative with him, but just, you know, try to win the first inning, and I'm glad he won 2 innings for us.
It felt like your team came out with an extra level of emotion and energy yesterday. Was there any concern that they would be able to match that today? And what was the message to the club?
Yeah, I don't know about concern. I think people who know us, we play with this edge all the time. So I was optimistic that we would keep it. And these kids are young and they're healthy, and this is why you take care of your body all years to have opportunities like this, just to keep playing as long as you can.
All right, Dan, thank you very much.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Dan McDonnell. And Brian Hoeing is going to walk the leadoff man, Derek Parola, to start the 4th inning. Coach Mack has had so much success over the years. 2-time National Coach of the Year. He's produced a lot of All-Americans, a lot of professional ball players. Another good team here, but he has run into a good team. Illinois State has really found their starter, Colton Johnson, settling in.
How about that stat? 8 straight regional finals. You talked about the All-Americans. It's littered all over the outfield wall. And what's crazy about it, when Dan McDonnell showed up, there were only 3. The first 3 that you see out there, starting from center field over to right center, the first 3 were there before Dan McDonnell. The rest are all through his era. And you can see it is a laundry list of star players that have played for Coach Mack and performed at a very high level. A number of them already in the big leagues, and we'll see them continue to get to the big leagues. But yeah, he's got his hands full. He's only ever lost one home regional. That was to Vanderbilt in 2010. So definitely has his hands full here with the Redbirds.
465 wins since 2010. That's the most in Division I since 2010. This program, the team of the decade.
Yeah, it's wild. And there's
wins-wise.
Yeah, the only one thing left to do. There's only one thing left to do for this program. That's win the whole thing. And as you said, more wins than anybody this decade is a loud, loud number.
Here comes Roger Williams, the pitching coach for Dan McDonnell the last 13 years. And Brian Hoeing, who came on in relief of Nick Bennett to start the 3rd inning. Did walk the 1 batter in the 3rd, but otherwise it was pretty clean. Now he walks the leadoff man, and he gets behind Libman 2-0. But Dan McDonnell's going to be coaching the collegiate national team this year. And he's excited about that opportunity. 13 40-win seasons.
Yeah, I mean, you just, boom, you look at the resume, top to bottom. There's only 1 line missing. And that's to win the whole thing. And he talks about it. That's one thing I've always admired about him. He doesn't shy away from the expectations. They want to win the whole thing. And, you know, I think they keep giving themselves chances. One day they will.
2 balls and no strikes to Libman. As Brian Hoeing had a chance to take a break there, had a chat with his pitching coach. And now it's 2-1. Chris Lemonis is going to be on Dan McDonnell's staff for the collegiate national team this year. Of course, he's the head coach at Mississippi State now. They're going to be in the Super Regionals in Starkville next week. They were college teammates at the Citadel and went to the CWS in 1990.
The only College World Series appearance for the Citadel.
Bunt back to the mound, and Hoeing will throw to first. Good sacrifice there by Libman. And now Joe Isles, the Missouri Valley Conference Player of the Year, striding to the plate. He has been very good and timely with his swings. All 3 of his RBIs in the regional have either given the Redbirds the lead or tied the game.
Yeah, he has been on time for this club. And, you know, when you're a mid-major trying to come here to upset a team in a regional, you got to have your best players come up in big moments. And he certainly has done that this weekend.
Very sharp young man. Junior from Champaign, Illinois. Hits it well toward the gap. Long run. Campbell on full gallop makes the catch. So with 1 pitch, Joe Isles is out. Drew Campbell has been absolutely outstanding in this regional, defensively especially, and he made the catch of the regional so far.
He sure did. He is some kind of athlete. That ball right there looked like it was trouble, and he made it look easy. And how about this one? How about going to get it, Clay? climbing the ladder, taking a home run away from Indiana's Ryan Feynman, and nearly did it again a couple innings later. But, boy, this man can really go get it.
I'm not going to say that that was the game-winning catch because it wasn't, but they ended up winning by 2. That would have been a 2-run homer.
Yep, it was a huge play in the game. How about that?
That's right.
No telling how the game would have unfolded had he not made that play, but they're certainly glad that he did.
Joe Butler up there for the second time. Ground out to short back in the second. He's going to send a soft liner over the second baseman's head. Parola being waved around, and he's going to score easily. And we're tied up at 1 here in the 4th. Joe Butler delivering an RBI single to tie the game.
The walk comes back to bite him, as leadoff walks so often do. Just kind of an into the bat cue ball, and Justin Levy, watch him. He just didn't know which way to turn. He started to turn and run, then he backpedaled. And I think if he would have stuck with his initial read, if he would have crossed over and turned and jumped, I think he would have had a play on that ball. But once he started backpedaling, he just wasn't in a position to make a leap for it. I thought he was going to catch it when that ball was hit. And that's just one of those uncomfortable balls in no man's land.
A walk, a sacrifice. A couple batters later, an RBI single from Joe Butler. His 43rd run batted in this year. Now Jeremy Gaines at the plate. He struck out his first time up. Gaines from Oak Park, Illinois. Redbirds in their 4th NCAA tournament. Second time at the Louisville Regional. They went 1-2 here in 2010. Beat St. Louis and then lost twice to Vandy. They've already done better than that appearance.
Oh yeah. This is a team that is very dangerous right now. Colton Johnson looks really, really good, and as sharp as Louisville was yesterday. You know, the old saying, you're only as good as tomorrow's starting pitcher. Well, Colton Johnson looks pretty good, and the momentum is totally different than it was in the middle part of yesterday's ball game.
Brian Hoeing trying to get that 3rd out here in the 4th. Pitch out. Snap throw down to first. Back safely is Joe Butler. Zeke Pinkham's got a pretty good arm.
Yeah, they had him look like, I don't know if it was a fake steal or if he started to go and then just stop, but Butler was way off the base. Pinkham had a chance.
Did he go? No. Scott Latender is the first base umpire.
Watch this barrel here. He does a nice job of keeping the hands in front of the barrel, and I think that's why he eventually got that call, but that was certainly close. I think they got that one right, though.
Jeremy Gaines in his first start since May 1st against Northwestern. 2-2 count, and he strikes out again. But Illinois State is on the board. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Colton Johnson, the junior from Kewanee, Illinois, just his 4th start of the year. We have seen him earlier in this regional struggle, but that was in a relief appearance. Here in this start today so far, Berkey, he's looked really good.
Boy, he has. It's incredible. How about the left-handers that this team throws at you? I mean, just quality left-handed arm after quality left-handed arm, and he looks like he's settled in, and if his defense would have performed behind him, they would probably be tossing a shutout right now.
Brent Hedrick, the winning pitcher against Indiana, 6 innings, 14 strikeouts. Matt Walker the next day, he goes complete game against Louisville. He had 4 wins and an ERA over 5, and he goes CG against the number 7 national seed. They win the race to the bag. Alex Benellis is out. Good job doing the pitcher covering the bag routine by Johnson.
That was not an easy play. But yeah, these left-handers, man, oh man, oh man, they got them stacked up one after the other. And Steve Holm knew he had a chance. He knew he had a chance in this ball game because Colton Johnson and the talent of this young left-hander, he felt like if he came out there and could control his emotions and thus command the baseball, that he'd keep them in the game.
Louisville so far has struggled against left-handers as Jake Snyder bats now for the Cardinals. This is going to be popped up and sails out of play. So look at the numbers for Louisville, right and left. It's pretty much night and day.
Well, certainly of late, they have really struggled with left-handers. I mean, you go back to the ACC tournament, and certainly the effort that Matt Walker had against them a couple days ago.
That's the sixth for Johnson, and 353 against righties, 196 against left-handers. Has to be a big reason why Steve Holm went with Johnson here today.
Yeah, I mean, the numbers are pretty obvious, but also this is their guy. I think regardless of the numbers, he was going to throw whoever his best available arm was. Cardinals been running into some tough left-handers. They saw two good ones at the ACC tournament, and now Illinois State's throwing a couple good ones at them.
Yeah, they had 2 runs, 4 hits in 2 games at the ACC tournament. Went 2 and out. And Matt Clark, the starter for Clemson, in that second game, took a no-hitter into the 9th.
Yeah.
Danny Oriente up there. That breaking ball misses down. And Colton Johnson was retired 9 in a row. Now is a 3-0 count. Second walk allowed by Johnson. 2-out base runner for the Cardinals. And we'll see if that's a spark as Drew Campbell is ready to hit next.
Well, the thing about this Louisville offense, just not a ton of long balls, right? So they need a little help. They need a walk. They need the defense to blink a little bit. They got to play some small ball. They can't just sit back. This is not Vanderbilt. They can't just sit back and slug. So here with a runner on and 2 outs, let's see if Drew Campbell tries to bunt for a hit again, or maybe see him move Oriente.
Popped up. Should end the inning. The center fielder Rave hangs in there, and they're done in the 4th. The 73rd edition of the College World Series coming your way June 15th, and we've got you covered every pitch leading up to it. Super Regionals next weekend. We're wrapping up regional play here today. It is Louisville and Illinois State tied at 1 going to the 5th inning. Nick Zoris, Jack Butler, Aiden Huggins for Illinois State. 7, 8, and 9 here in the 5th. Again, the winner of this one will take on the winner of the ECU Campbell matchup that's going on in Greenville, North Carolina. ECU would have to beat the Camels twice today. Swing and a miss. Nick Zoris is a strikeout victim.
Well, we got a couple good arms going right now, but here's your potential super regional matchups. And so you look at Ole Miss is going to Arkansas, Florida State's going to LSU. We got still a lot to be decided up top. Somebody's going to play, either UConn or Oklahoma State's going to play Texas Tech. Auburn's going to North Carolina. How about maybe the Cardinal of Stanford going to Starkville? How about that?
That's going to be a tough environment for those West Coasters, that's for sure. Popped up, Tyler Fitzgerald makes the catch. Jack Butler is out, and Huggins coming up. Yeah, Mississippi State, dynamic pitching staff and a very potent offense. Of course, Jake Mangum, the all-time hits leader in the SEC as their leadoff man. It kind of sets the table for everything.
And he's gotten going a little bit again. Boy, he had really, he was down to 345. Yeah. He was up around 4 bills all year long. Got down to 345, but got a few hits last night. It was rocking and rolling, and their bullpen has really taken shape. I mean, they are really. Cole Gordon was fantastic again last night, and JT Ginn's a question mark with that club, Clay. Can JT Ginn find kind of a finisher's kick here down the stretch, because it looks like he's hit a bit of a freshman wall.
Illinois State, the Missouri Valley Conference regular season co-champions with Dallas Baptist. Dallas Baptist was eliminated last night by Texas Tech. It'll be the 4th super regional appearance for Tim Tadlock and the Red Raiders. They're going to play UConn or Oklahoma State. That's a winner take all in Oklahoma City tonight. Outside, 2-2. Brian Hoeing has retired 3 in a row. Gave up the run last inning. It seems to be finding a comfort zone again.
Oh, he looks good.
Struck him out. 1, 2, 3, clean 5th for Hoeing.
Brian Hoeing, folks, just throwing lasers. Got the Cards rolling.
Welcome back to the NCAA Baseball Regionals presented by Capital One. Alongside Chris Burke, I'm Clay Matvick. The 8th time in the last 11 years that Louisville is hosting a regional. And it's the 8th straight regional final for the Cardinals. Tied with LSU for the longest active streak in Division I right now.
Yeah, that's back to your comment about them being the team of the decade.
Ground ball, Justin Levy back up the middle, and Parola doesn't have a play. Went down to one knee and on a backhand tried to come up with a play, but Levy's aboard with an infield hit to start the 5th.
So it just changes everything for Louisville when they get the leadoff guy on. As you see Parola trying to make a pop-up slide there. Probably a ball he should have gloved. I don't think he would have been able to throw Levy out, but now Dan McDonald can do some things. He can play a little baseball here. A lot of options with Zeke Pinkham. The veteran catcher can really handle the bat.
Pinkham swung on and missed to end the 2nd inning. He's 0 for 1. He's going to flip this one up out of play. Now, what a pitching duel this is turning into. Colton Johnson, the lefty starter for Illinois State. There he is. 4-1 on the year. And Nick Bennett, who started the first couple innings, and Brian Hoeing has been great since coming out in relief for Louisville.
Yeah, I mean, both these guys are awfully impressive, and both really look the part. I mean, they both look like big league arms.
Good bunt. Textbook sacrifice for Pinkham, and you talked about him being able to handle the bat. You can't always say that about a catcher.
No, but he makes it look easy. And just does a nice job of deadening that baseball. Illinois State plays catch, and now the Cardinals got a chance to take the lead here. Lucas Dunn and Logan Wyatt will get a crack at getting the Cardinals back out in front.
Dunn hasn't put one in play yet. Struck out swinging twice, but a very salty batting average. Had a 2-run triple last night against Illinois State. 3 hits in the regional. He bunts. Also well placed. Great job by Johnson to throw him out. That's called fielding your position.
And how about Jack Butler just continues to impress over at first base, but the big left-hander getting off the mound. How about the pop-up slide from your pitcher and a bare hand, then he slips as he throws it. So Jack Butler's got to dig it out. Watch this. My man bare hands it on the pop-up slide, slips a little bit there as he throws. And that is a top shelf play by your left-handed starting pitcher right there. Looking like a young Andy Pettit hopping off the mound.
And now he'll face Logan Wyatt. And he's trying to bunt. Butler, can he win the race? Yes! Jack Butler, the first baseman who has been stellar in this regional, makes the play to end the inning.
How about the defense of the Redbirds coming up in a big way? Jack Butler keeps putting on a show, and he just beats Logan Wyatt to the base.
Three straight bunts in that inning for Louisville. That's my first question to you, Chris. And then the second question is, why did Logan Wyatt slide head first into first base?
Well, the first bunt from Zeke Pinkham is from the bench. That's a sac bunt, right?
Get that.
Yeah. The next one is Lucas Dunn, a kid who's punched out twice in the ball game, not feeling very comfortable. What you don't like is your big slugger, Logan Wyatt, with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position. Number one, you don't like to see him bunting. And number two, you don't like to see him sliding head first. Not only is it not faster, but it also puts him in a serious danger of getting hurt. And I think it's, honestly, I think it speaks more. You see him grabbing his hand there after, I'm sure, getting maybe a little turf burn there, sliding. But I would say it's more of a compliment to the way they feel about Colton Johnson than anything, because to have your 1 and 2 hitter going up there bunting for a hit with a runner in scoring position tells me that neither one of those kids is seeing the ball that well.
John Rave leading it off for Illinois State as we're in the 6th inning now, tied at 1. Winner moves on to the Super Regionals. If it's Louisville, they'll be here next week. Another thing about Logan Wyatt, I mean, Keith Law just a couple days ago had him as a late first rounder. And seems like maybe in the mock drafts he slipped a little bit since then, as that's a swing and a miss for Rave. But here on this day where the draft is going to start, he gets hurt or something funny happens here. You know, sliding into first base, it just seems to me, is never a good idea.
Yeah, well, it's a bad idea. It's slower. It certainly leads to injury. It makes it much easier on the fielder. The only reason you'd ever slide at first base, to me, is if you're avoiding a tag on an errant throw and you're getting down to try to get underneath a tag as the first baseman's come off the base. It's usually a form of effort, and I applaud Logan Wyatt for the effort, but I still think it's a bad decision on his part.
Derek Parola goes the other way to right field. Campbell makes the catch. Rave and Parola quick outs here in the 6th inning as Brian Hoeing is on cruise control now. He has retired 6 straight. Hoeing, the senior right-hander from Batesville, Indiana, came on to start the 3rd. And he has allowed the 1 run. Other than that, he is giving Roger Williams, Dan McDonnell, everything that they could have asked.
No doubt. I mean, this is just a good-looking arm. 93, 94, a really good breaking ball. I mean, just filling up the zone with strikes. Seems to be in complete command of the baseball here this afternoon.
3 2/3 innings. Just the 1 hit allowed. Has given up a couple of walks. And that's the one thing about Illinois State the last couple of games. The hits haven't been plentiful.
No, they've. Last night especially was a struggle. Just the 3 hits and really just the one real hit, a couple infield hits besides that.
Inside out swing. This could be a hit. Nope. Tyler Fitzgerald does a good job to get back on that. It's another 1-2-3 inning for Hoeing. Back in Louisville, having a little cotton candy here at Patterson Stadium. Tied at 1 in the bottom of the 6th. For more coverage of the Division I baseball tournament and interactive brackets, go to NCAA.com. Our friends are back.
Man, who's got it better than them?
On top of the camper. They've been enjoying the tournament since Friday. Got a good tan on. Enjoying this great weather, low humidity here in Louisville. It can be hot this time of year, and we haven't had that the last few days.
It's like 78 degrees. I mean, it is gorgeous out there.
I'll tell you what, though, the heat is on the Louisville Cardinals.
Yes.
They're the #7 national seed.
Yeah, the temperature's not hot, but there's some real pressure in the building. There's no doubt about it. The Cardinals had it all going yesterday, but Colton Johnson has put an end to all the fun that the home team's been having over the last day or so, and he is making them work for everything. And again, I think it was a very telling sign that we saw 2 bunts to end last inning. Nobody's feeling very comfortable against the big left-hander right now. It looks very similar to the game we saw from Matt Walker.
He has given up 2 hits, each team with 1 run on 2 hits. Fitzgerald pops it up, and that's going to get out of play. Fitzgerald, Benellis, and Snyder, 3, 4, and 5. Fitzgerald a walk and a strikeout. But Colton Johnson pitching in the 6th inning now. His career high for innings is 6. His career high for pitches in an outing, 89. He's at just 63. Struck him out. Gets Fitzgerald for the 2nd straight at bat to go down swinging.
We've seen a bunch of strikeouts on the breaking ball. And you see right here, this one just kind of stays to the backside of the plate. And I think Fitzgerald thinks that one was coming back more over the middle part of the plate, just kind of hangs out there. He swings underneath it. Man, Colton Johnson has looked good in this ball game.
And now he'll deal to Benellis, who's 0 for 2. A couple of groundouts to first. The Missouri Valley Conference co-regular season champs. The Valley is a great baseball league, a great tradition. We were talking about Creighton earlier. They were in that league for a long time. They're not anymore. Wichita State used to be in that league. 8 teams still in that league. And very competitive. Dallas Baptist, Indiana State both made the tournament this year. The Sycamores were the conference tournament champions.
They made it to the regional final in the Nashville regional against Vanderbilt. DBU knocked off the defending, 2 years ago national champion in Florida. And you know, you look at the tournament history of the MVC, it's awfully impressive. Of course, Wichita State no longer in the league, but they were a powerhouse for so long.
Hit well. Benellis making Gaines go back. Makes the adjustment and the catch. And the big third baseman is the 2nd out of the 6th. Yeah, and the other team that has been a power in that league for quite a while, Missouri State, they were down this year.
Yeah.
So it really says something about Illinois State and Indiana State and Dallas Baptist to be in this tournament. A 3-bid league this year.
Yeah, not just in it, but highly competitive.
Gaines is going to have to run a long way for this one. Can he get there? No. Jake Snyder is sliding in with a double with 2 outs here in the 6th. Boy, Snyder has been swinging it well.
Just a little jam job pop up. And Jake Snyder is definitely not afraid to get beat. We saw the jam job ground ball to short. Now a little jam job pop up to left. And but one thing we know, man, he can really run. He gets from home to second effortlessly.
Everything he does in this tournament seems to be a winner. He is now 24 for 50 in the NCAA tournament with 11 runs batted in. What a play! Butler.
No way.
To Butler. And the Butler did it again. Illinois State gets out of the inning.
It's just unbelievable. I mean, just get it anywhere close to Jack Butler, and he's going to finish it off. Joe Butler first, though, folks. Backhand 360, rips it over there to his partner in crime, who finishes it off. The Butler brothers.
Clay Matvick, Chris Berg back here in Louisville. And we are enjoying a pitcher's duel. Colton Johnson for Illinois State. Bennett and Hoeing for Louisville. I mean, I don't know that you expected this when we were talking, that we would get this kind of a matchup on the mound. here in Game 7.
Well, it doesn't surprise me from the Louisville side because we knew how many arms they still had rested and ready to go, and they just have so many deep, talented bullpens in the past. It's not surprising to see a guy like Hoeing come out here and grab the ball and be effective. But Colton Johnson didn't give us a whole lot to be excited about with what we saw against Indiana.
No.
I mean, a third of an inning, 3 runs, 2 walks. I mean, it wasn't very pretty, but man alive, he looks like an All-American here this afternoon.
And he's getting some great help from his defenders. The play at the corners in particular. Joe and Jack Butler, third and first base respectively, have been outstanding. No play, though, better than that one to end the 6th.
No, that was pretty special there.
Joe Isles swung on and missed, and that's another K for Brian Hoeing.
Well, not only have both these pitchers, of course, Nick Bennett started the game, but Hoeing has come in and kept it going. You think about the runs that were scored. I mean, Louisville scored an unearned run off an error by the left fielder and a poor decision by the shortstop to try to barehand a moving ball. Hoeing gave up a run on a walk and a blooper over the second baseman's head that kind of crossed up the feet of Justin Levy. So, I mean, it has been dominant stuff here from both these kids.
Here is the the third baseman, Joe Butler. Jack and Joe are not related. I'm sure you're wondering. But their dads were at the same college at the same time. That's a coincidence. Illinois Wesleyan. And their sons end up on the same baseball team, and here in 2019 having a super regional.
They are hoping to get to the super regional.
But everybody does think they're brothers.
They have to. I mean, Jack and Joe, it just works.
The 1-2 pitch. Chased it. Back-to-back strikeouts for Hoeing. He's got 6 of those now. 2 down.
Man, he is just running through this batting order. That breaking ball, nobody's seeing it. I mean, when you start seeing guys chasing pitches that aren't all that close to the strike zone, you know that nobody's picking up the ball very well. That's 2 guys in a row, Isles and Butler, that have looked bad on breaking balls.
Jeremy Gaines has struck out twice. Once again against Bennett, once against Hoeing. Got guys warming up for Louisville. A lefty and a righty.
Kirian.
And I think that's Schmeltz. Ground ball. Should end the inning. Gaines grounds to Levy. It's a clean 7th for Hoeing. Just 9 pitches needed. Welcome back to the NCAA Baseball Regionals presented by Capital One. And for more coverage of the Division I baseball tournament leading up to Omaha, and all the interactive brackets there too, go to ncaa.com. He's Chris Burke. I'm Clay Matvick along with our crew. So glad to have you along on this Monday afternoon from Louisville, Kentucky. Patterson Stadium, where the Cardinals are the number 7 national seed, hoping to move on to the Supers next week, where they would host here at Patterson Stadium again. But they got to get through Illinois State first. Drew Campbell pops it up behind home plate. Zoris has the mask off, and it comes out of his glove. Nick Zoris with an easy pop-up behind home plate, and it popped out of his mitt.
I mean, that was right in the heart of his mitt. And, boy, look at Joe Butler coming in there. He was going to help. Look, it almost looked like he took it for granted. Watch him put his head down as soon as the ball hits his glove. It's like he thought he had it. It just kind of clanked it. That's a really surprising play on a ball that looked like he was right underneath it. Now, will it come back to bite him? Because there is certainly a history of hitters, when they get new life, they tend to usually take advantage of it.
Drew Campbell 0 for 2 today. It's a candy hop for Joe Butler. And it does not come back to hunt Illinois State. As Campbell's a 5-3 put out. That'll bring up Justin Levy.
I don't know if you noticed, it's kind of getting late early here, Clay. I mean, we just did the 7th inning stretch, and we got ourselves a 1-1 barn burner. Somebody's got to make a play. Somebody's going to blink. I mean, this is big stuff, man. We got the Super Regionals on the line. There's only a few outs left.
Levy and Pinkham to hit here in the 7th. Johnson has been burying first pitch strikes. 19 first pitch strikes here today in 25 batters faced. A career high 7 strikeouts. And he is into uncharted territory from an innings pitch standpoint. His previous career high was 6 innings. Just what Steve Holm was dreaming of last night, but this is hit well. Gaines going back. He's going to make the catch. Justin Levy making a bid to burn the left fielder and get extra bases, but it's out number 2. So here's what's at stake. Illinois State and Louisville meeting in this final game of the regional to decide who's going to the Supers. East Carolina is leading Campbell in the 4th, 4-2. But if the Pirates win, they're going to have to play again tonight and beat Campbell a 2nd time to get to the Supers.
Yeah, so whoever wins this one won't know their opponent until, if East Carolina holds on, until later, much later this evening. It is an interesting day of baseball. So much on the line. And it's always cool to see teams and players step up and rise to the occasion. I mean, this Illinois State defense just keeps making plays. And Colt Johnson just keeps making it look easy as he just keeps filling up the strike zone.
East Carolina just scored again. It's 5-2 in that one now. As Pinkham's up there. 1-2 the count to him. East Carolina beat NC State and Quinnipiac yesterday to stay alive. And the Campbell Camels, quite a story, a 3 seed, just like Illinois State is. Trying to get to the Super Regional round and make some school history. The Camels 37-19, 4th NCAA tournament trip. They'd only won 1 NCAA tournament game prior to this year. Campbell is in Bowie's Creek, North Carolina. Big South champs.
Yeah, what a story that would be, huh? The Camels, if they can pull it off up in Greenville in an incredible environment. I mean, Cliff Godwin, Aaron Fitt had a really cool tweet last night talking about the D1 baseball writer Aaron Fitt was talking about Cliff Godwin and how he got emotional when discussing the fan base and how much they've come out to support their team this weekend.
Payoff pitch. Tried to snap a breaking ball off. Pinkham ducks away from it. Ball 4. 2-out base runner. And back to the top of the order for the Cardinals, Lucas Dunn. Trey Leonard is going to come in to pinch run for Dan McDonald. And we have seen this speedster do some amazing things on the base paths.
We got a pinch hitter here, too. We got Zach Brenton is going to hit for Lucas Dunn, which is, you know, we talked about Lucas Dunn bunting last time with a runner in scoring position. I think when you do that, you tell your head coach, I don't really like my spot against this pitcher on the mound. And so Dan McDonald gets a base runner on, and he's thinking to himself, well, I got Zach Brenton, one of my most talented hitters, on the bench. We got a runner on base. We haven't had many of them. I need to make a change right here. And I know it's left on left, but the righties haven't had any success today either. So I like to move. Lucas Dunn certainly doesn't look confident. And Zach Brenton gives you a shot to run a ball in the gap or maybe hit it out of the ballpark.
Zach Brenton, a sophomore from Batesville, Indiana. 9 for 16 as a pinch hitter this season.
Trey Leonard is a special base stealer over there at first base, folks. So Dan McDonald firing a couple of his bullets here.
Back to the backstop. Zoris has to chase. It's going to be a wild pitch, obviously, on Colton Johnson, who has not had to pitch with runners on base very often here today. And now the crowd getting riled up as Louisville has a runner in scoring position.
Yeah, Zoris just unable to corral that one. Leonard probably would have advanced either way, but yeah, the home crowd rising to their feet. They haven't had a whole lot of things to cheer about in this ball game, and they're trying to make their presence felt.
And Zoris, the catcher, is going to walk out to have a chat with Johnson. He thinks that maybe he needs to give his starter a breather here.
And we got some people standing up in the Illinois State bullpen for the first time in this ball game.
The Cardinals are 30-8 at home this year. 30 wins, 8 losses. And this program has won close to 80% of its games in this stadium since 2005. The fan base is as rabid and as educated as any college baseball fan base in the country.
They love it. They absolutely love it, and they're sensing that their team needs a little energy from them right now, maybe trying to influence the pitcher as well. You see Colton Johnson starting to labor a little bit with his breathing there, and the place is definitely loud right now.
A ball and a strike to Britton, who started the regional 0 for 7. But he got a hit and an RBI last night. Like you said, a talented hitter off the bench. He broke up Matt Clark's no-hitter in the 9th in Durham last week with his 5th home run of the year. Swing and a miss, 1-2. And off speed.
Nobody's been comfortable on the breaking ball. I don't think we've seen one good swing at the breaking ball yet. And it doesn't look like, it's not a big one like we've seen from Bennett or Detmers, but it is a tight breaker that you can tell the Louisville hitters are really struggling to recognize.
Johnson looking at Leonard and looks Leonard back.
And Leonard's got to go. I know it's 2 outs, but Leonard, if Leonard's got it, he should go. Any way that you could possibly scratch a run right now. So if you get to third base by stealing it right here, and maybe one goes to the backstop again, if he feels like he has it, he should take it.
Breaking ball, line drive, base hit. Leonard scores. And the Cardinals go in front 2-1 here in the 7th. Zach Britton with an RBI pinch hit that gives Louisville the lead.
Boy, you just got to give Dan McDonald a lot of credit. He puts in a left-handed pinch hitter after subbing for his catcher to put in a pinch runner, hanging breaking ball, dumped into right field, and the Cards fans rose to their feet, and Zach Britton gave them something to cheer about. What a moment for that young man as he delivers in a huge situation.
That guy continues to push the right buttons.
What a move.
And now Logan Wyatt up there. He takes a breaking ball for strike 1. Zach Britton has been the designated hitter primarily this year. The regular catcher last year at times. Had a sports hernia, missed the entire fall, so that set him back. He really hasn't had a position this year. He's just been used as a DH and pinch hitter. And what a big moment that he's called upon, and he delivers.
Yeah, and he just didn't look real comfortable there early on in that bat, but a breaking ball that just kind of hovered over the plate that he takes advantage of. And Dan McDonald will tell you, he feels passionately that Zach Britton's going to be a star hitter for this club. He's trying to, as you said, find him a position, but you got to love the guts to put him in there left on left. And the kid makes it pay off for his skipper.
And Johnson has to deal with a very dangerous Wyatt. He fights off an 0-2 pitch. Sense of relief among this fan base now. You can feel it.
Yes. And as good as Brian Hoeing has looked, and again, you got Kirian ready down there in the bullpen as well.
Of course, they don't have Michael McAveen. He's serving a suspension. The closer was ejected yesterday. This is game 2 of his suspension.
That matters absolutely, but as good as Hoeing has been to this point, I don't see him making a move until he gives them a reason to. But yeah, they would love to have him down there in that bullpen ready to go.
Logan Wyatt, who could hear his name called tonight in the draft at the plate, swung on and fouled off. A terrific eye at the plate. The scouts say he's as good as it gets at tracking the baseball. He has 67 walks on the year, and that's among the national leaders.
Yeah, the pitch recognition is elite, but right now they need him to swing it, looking for an extra base hit right here to blow this thing open.
Ground ball, and Parola has been playing Wyatt there all 3 games. The 7th is done, but it is Zach Britton delivering the go-ahead run. Louisville leads it going to the 8th. There's Brian Hoeing. He comes out after retiring 10 straight. He looked good from the 3rd on, but Dan McDonnell has decided to make a pitching change. Surprised?
I am surprised. I am. I thought Brian Hoeing was so good and making it look so effortless that they would stick with the senior, but they're going to flip the ball to the freshman who they loved when he arrived here on campus. He's dealt with some injuries here this year, just making his 15th appearance, but he's one of the young stars on this club that they think is going to be in the middle of everything they do moving forward. What a moment here for this young man as he gets the ball with a 1-run lead and just 6 outs as they try to advance to the Super Regional.
A good start as he gets Nick Zoris to swing and miss. So we're completely new up the middle for Louisville. Trey Leonard is in center field now, and a new battery. Henry Davis is catching Jared Poland. There's Trey Leonard, who came in as a pinch runner. He stays in for Lucas Dunn in center field. Henry Davis now catching. Henry Davis is a freshman. Well, you got some youngsters in some big spots right now for the number 7 national
We got
seed.
a freshman on the mound. We got a freshman behind the plate. And you can tell they like Jared Poland's breaking ball. That's 3 in a row to start this AB.
One, two, and that caught Davis right in the mask. Skipped in on him.
94 on that fastball. And my guess is that was just kind of a show pitch to go right back to the breaking ball.
Poland out of Fishers, Indiana, product of Cathedral High School. Stays high. It's full count. Nick Zoris, Jack Butler, Aiden Huggins, 7, 8, 9 scheduled to hit here in the 8th. Illinois State has just 2 hits in this ballgame, and none since the 4th inning. Missed it, walked him. And Illinois State has the tying run aboard with Jack Butler ready to hit.
Boy, that's a rough way for that at bat to finish after a good start by Poland. Look at the train conductor just decided to pull up and take in the end of the ball game. That's a nice seat, huh? How about that?
I don't know. I still like the top of the camper better.
Okay, there's some cool spots in this yard now.
We saw people on top of the roof earlier in the regional. That's going to get away from Davis. He chases. Runner goes. Got him. Henry Davis has a howitzer of an arm. And he just got Zoris trying to get that extra base.
Well, that's his calling card. His calling card is that he has a plus arm, and this is a pitch that he missed off home plate umpire Billy Van Raphorst. This ball bounces off the umpire. It was headed for the backstop, and it turns into an out. What a bit of good fortune right there for the Cardinals, and of course Henry Davis with the arm strength to finish it off.
That pitch misses down to Jack Butler. There's veteran leadership with Pinkham, but there's no doubt Henry Davis has a stronger arm,
yes,
and it really came in handy in that situation.
It did. And what you lose when you lose Pinkham is the receiving piece. I don't think Henry Davis is near the receiver that Zeke Pinkham is, and the truth is he missed that ball. He missed it, and it caroms off home plate umpire Billy Van Raphorst. Watch this, Clay. He misses it with the backhand here, and it goes off the leg of Billy Van Raphorst, or it's going to the backstop, and they would have a runner on second and nobody out, and then bare hand and a bullet to second base. But Jared Poland, you got to start to think about getting him out of this game. It has not looked pretty here since the first couple good breaking balls.
3-0 to Butler. There he buries a strike. And again, keep in mind the bullpen shorthanded. No Michael McAveen. Their top bullpen arm under suspension.
Yeah, you better believe he'd be getting up right now.
Strike two. Well, it seems like the quick chat from Henry Davis paying some dividends as Poland has settled down and
it's a huge
2 straight
moment,
strikes.
This is a huge moment for this young man. So, yeah, just giving him a chance to kind of gather himself.
Strike 3. 2 down.
And credit this young freshman, and credit the freshman catcher for going out there and talking to him. You could see he looked in the dugout. Can I go talk to him? He did. After that, Poland pumps 3 heaters right in there. Hoeing loves it. Adam Elliott loves it. And you know the crowd does.
And now he deals to the 9-hole hitter, Aiden Huggins, who's 0 for 2. A fly out and a strikeout. And falls behind 2-0 again. Don't want to walk the 9-hole hitter.
Now you got Rave on deck and his 12 home runs in a 1-run game. You do not want to bring him up with somebody on base.
Well, Huggins was swinging 2-0. Foul back. Two and 2. 4 national seeds have been eliminated. Georgia, Georgia Tech, West Virginia, Oregon State. The Louisville fans don't want to see it happen to their number 7 national seed, Louisville Cardinals. They get on their feet here at Patterson Stadium. Poland's pitch. Got it! And the train conductor loves it. He toots the horn.
Come on, Clay. You know everybody's fired up in this joint, especially the dugout losing their mind.
This has turned into an absolute dandy. 2-1 Louisville leading as they hit in the bottom of the 8th for the right to go to the Super Regionals and stay on the road to Omaha and the College World Series.
And boy, you know Dan McDonald would like at least one more Colton Johnson still out there working into the mid-90s with his pitch count.
Base hit. Tyler Fitzgerald starts the Louisville 8th with a single up the middle. Alex Pinellas, Jake Snyder also to hit this inning.
And this is where you want to be if you're a Louisville Cardinal fan. You got the leadoff man on and the most dangerous hitter in this order coming up. And your hottest hitter, Jake Snyder, on deck.
Jacob Gilmore, the closer for Illinois State, is warming in the bullpen, and we have not seen him yet in the regional, arguably their best relief pitcher.
Yeah, he's been the guy that's gotten the ball for them at the end of games all season long. Colton Johnson's been kind of the swing guy, the wild card that comes in and throws a few different times in a weekend or maybe one long outing, but Gilmore's been the guy at the end of the games. Big time fastball, high spin rate guy.
Alex Pinellas behind in the count, 0-2. Pinellas, 14 homers on the year. Native of Oak Creek, Wisconsin, committed to Coach Mack before he'd ever played a high school game.
Yeah, they were pretty sure about this one. They knew what they had at a very early age with Pinellas, and he is not disappointed.
But he strikes out here for out number 1. And then a strikeout number 8 for Colton Johnson, and win or lose for this Illinois State pitching staff. What a job by the starters in this regional. Yeah, Hedrick, Walker.
Yeah, and now Johnson, incredible. Dalton Harvey's been fantastic out of their bullpen. I mean, they have had some guys really step up in this regional, and that's why they are just one run down with 3 outs to go for their offense. Because of how well their pitchers have performed, you can't do it without kids stepping up.
Fitzgerald, 16 stolen bases on the year. He's at first base. Well, you said Louisville would appreciate an insurance run or 2. ECU, by the way, leading 5-2 over Campbell in the 5th. The winner of that regional plays the winner of this regional in the Supers next week. Louisville hopes it's them, so they can be at home.
Yeah, and you can see why. I mean, this is one of the great home environments, and their record speaks to it. Until Illinois State beat them the other day, Vanderbilt, the only team to ever beat them in a regional here at home. Now they have had a couple super regional losses. Fullerton and UCSB have beat them here in super regionals, but the Cardinals are awfully tough to beat here in their own building.
The 1-1. Runner goes, and that's going to be a stolen base for Fitzgerald.
And Zoris didn't even see him going.
Yeah, he kind of hesitated.
I don't know if it was a delay. No, it wasn't a delay. Straight steal. Zoris just didn't see him. Left-handed hitter, I guess, and the first baseman Butler wasn't loud enough. So Fitzgerald slides in there to scoring position, and Cardinals looking for another big RBI base hit.
And Snyder's hit almost 500 in his career in regional play. Runner goes again, blocked by Zoris. And that's a stolen base for Tyler Fitzgerald on back-to-back pitches.
Now I'm all fired up. There ain't nothing better for a base stealer than go back-to-back. Nobody sees it coming. You steal second, everybody's defenses are down, and then you just take off. And it wasn't a great jump, but fortunately for him, breaking ball in the dirt. Now the infield in, and Tyler Fitzgerald has been fantastic on the base pass this entire regional, making some plays with his legs.
That's a foul ball off the foot of Snyder. Snyder's dad, Eric, is the third base coach, hitting coach, recruiting coordinator, and I don't know, did he put those signs on, or did that come from Dan McDonald, or was that all on Fitzgerald?
Well, Dan McDonald runs the base stealing, and he will certainly put it on if need be, but something tells me Fitzgerald was all on his own right there.
Now he's watching his son Jake with a 2-2 pitch. It's up and in, full count. Infield drawn in, trying to cut off that third run. One out in the Louisville 8th. Colton Johnson has pitched to Jim. Down the line. Fair ball. Fitzgerald scores. Snyder has done it again. His 4th run batted in of this regional, and it's 3-1 Cardinals.
Well, he's starting to look like he might be taking home MVP honors here this weekend. What a piece of hit here, folks. You want to talk about keeping that front shoulder in and staying on a breaking ball left on left. We have seen so many hitters fly open and look bad on this Colton Johnson breaking ball, but that is letting it travel, staying on the baseball and ripping it into the left field corner. Tyler Fitzgerald gets it going with his legs. Jake Snyder pays it off with his bat, and the Cardinals are rolling.
And that's going to be it for Colton Johnson. Not the ending he was hoping for, but what an effort. And Gilmore will come in.
The NCAA Baseball Regionals is presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet? And in part by new Coppertone Sport Clear. Clear, cool, protected.
Colton Johnson hanging his head, but he shouldn't. He pitched really well. 7 1/3. Gives up 2 runs, 6 hits, walked 3, struck out 8. The junior has no reason to feel ashamed. He was outstanding.
Man, what a performance by him. And there were parts of this game where he completely dominated the Louisville lineup. But he leaves down 3-1 after a really, really solid effort.
And now Jacob Gilmore comes on, sophomore left-hander from Bloomington, Illinois. Went to Central Catholic High School. He's been their closer. This would be his 21st appearance. We haven't seen him yet in the regional. He has 11 saves on the year. Obviously, this is not a save situation. He's trying to slam the door and keep this a 2-run ball game. Man at second, it's Snyder. And just 1 out, Danny Oriente at the plate.
He's going to try to go. Jake Snyder will try to steal this base, and if I was Oriente, I'd give him a couple pitches. Much rather be hitting here with just the 1 out with a runner at third.
Gilmore misses high to Oriente, who's got 4 hits in the regional. How about Snyder, though? I mean, he's hitting .481 for his career in the national tournament. 3 homers and 12 runs batted in.
It's big stuff there. I mean, in big hits.
There he goes. Zoris's throw is right on the money. Got him. Nick Zoris throws out Snyder for out number 2.
And I thought he just barely beat it. The throw beat him. Really good throw by Zoris, but I thought the hand just beat the tag. The tag looked like it was on the elbow. The question is, was the hand there? What do you think here, Clay? Well, that's a bang.
At first,
right
I thought he was out, but now that I watch it on replay, it looks like he may be safe. It's got to be indisputable video evidence to overturn the call on the field. And as it happens, it's Ken Langford, the third base umpire. He was behind home plate for that Indiana-Louisville debacle at the end of that game. We're looking at it at the NCAA Video Review Center. Snyder may have broken his belt.
I think this is the look right here. Stop it right there. So neither one is home. I don't think the glove's there yet. There's the glove in the hand.
Boy, that's going to be tough to overturn.
I agree. I think that call stands. Jackson.
Yeah, it won't be confirmed. It'll stand. I think you're right.
Ooh, that one has me rethinking it. It tells you how hard it is to be an umpire, folks. We've seen about 5 different looks in slow motion, and it's still hard to tell. I think the call on the field will stand.
How about the aggressiveness, though, overall as an approach today for Louisville? I mean, that is their MO. That's what they've done. But we saw it really early in this game. They put pressure on the base paths early for Illinois State.
Well, they did. They just haven't had many runners. I mean, you know, this is what they want to do. When they've gotten on, they've put pressure on. And middle part of the game, there wasn't anything happening for them. But now they've gotten some runners on, and credit Tyler Fitzgerald for really kind of setting the tone on the base pass. And him and Snyder, 2 kids have been in this program for 3 years. They've been drilled to play fast and to take chances. Sometimes when you do, you get thrown out, but they're gonna always push the envelope on the base pass. And they're having as hard a time figuring out as we are. I don't know. I don't know. I don't see enough to overturn.
Me either.
If he'd have called him safe, I'd say the same thing. This one might help. Was his hand?
I think he's out. I think it's going to stand. But we'll see. And the trainer's had enough. He says, you know what? If you're going to go to the monitor, I'm out of here.
He's out. It was a good run, though, for him.
Yeah, he spent a couple innings. He saw some of the big highlights.
He was here during some action.
All right, let's take a look at our bracket. Catch up, everybody that is just tuning in. Campbell and ECU are playing right now. The winner of that regional will play the winner of this regional in the Supers. It's now 9-2 in the 5th. East Carolina with a commanding lead. It looks like, and if that holds, there will be another game tonight between the Pirates and the Camels.
Yep.
And Louisville's trying to end this baby here in the next several moments and get on to the Super Regionals. Illinois State would have to come back in the 9th. They're going to be at least 2 runs down. The umpires are still on headset. The call on the field was safe. Jake Snyder, or excuse me, the call on field was out, pardon me. And they're reviewing that. And I think he was out.
I don't ever think I've seen one this long.
I don't know.
On an outer safe call, but looks like they've got a resolution here.
Folks in Louisville, Kentucky know all about the review. They host the Kentucky Derby, and remember what happened last month. Safe! He was called out on the field. They're going to overturn it.
Wow, they took their time with that one, and again, I really can't argue one way or the other. It was almost impossible for me to tell. It looked like a 50-50 call.
So just 1 out. Man at third. And a 1-1 count to Danny Oriente. Gilmore sets and throws, and it's fouled off, 1-2. I guess we should have surmised that because it was such a long process that something was going on, and they were ready to overturn it.
Yeah, I don't know. There was nothing else to change. I mean, it was either out or safe. So they were definitely trying to do their due diligence, make sure they looked at it from every angle.
Popped up. Right side in foul ground. Jack Butler, the first baseman, makes the catch. Snyder bluffs that he's coming home. He'll go back to third, 2 outs. Sports Center with Kevin Nagandi and Keith Olbermann, 6 Eastern after PTI. Who's under pressure in Game 3 as the NBA Finals head to Oracle? Mike Trout and the Angels with a matinee matchup at Wrigley. Adam Schefter, what's at stake heading into the NFL minicamps. And I'm sure they're going to be talking about the Major League Baseball draft, which starts tonight in Secaucus, New Jersey. Sports Center after PTI on ESPN.
There will be a whole bunch of college players taken early in that draft. Maybe 3 of the first 4 picks. Could go Adley Rutschman, the catcher from Oregon State.
Yeah.
Andrew Vaughn, the first baseman from California, and J.J. Bleday, the right fielder from Vanderbilt. Nick Lodolo, the left-handed pitcher from TCU, could go in the top 10 picks. Maybe Alek Manoah from West Virginia.
Fly ball. Backing up. Jeremy Gaines got turned around, and he hangs with it to make the catch. Wow, that was a lot tougher play for Jeremy Gaines than it probably should have been. But he gets the 3rd out, and we go to the 9th. And it's 3-1 Louisville. We go to the 9th in a cranked-up Louisville, Kentucky. The Cardinals 3 outs away from going back to the Super Regionals for the 8th time.
A lot of juice in the building right now, Clay. Michael Kirian gets the baseball, trying to bring the Cardinals to the Super Regional. The big left-hander, 6'6", 235 pounds, has been one of their most trusted arms all season long. You see there 37 punch-outs, just 8 walks in 27 innings.
This would normally be Michael McAveen real estate, but he's suspended. So it's Kirian. And he starts out John Rave with a strike. Rave, Parola, Libman, the scheduled hitters. 1, 2, 3 here in the 9th for the Redbirds. They need 2 to tie. Breaking ball, strike 2.
Kirian does have 4 saves on the season, so he has closed out a few ball games in his own right.
Got him. 1 down. Well, he made that look easy. And now Parola comes up. Parola 1 for 2 with a walk in the 4th. He scored the only run for the Redbirds in this game. Illinois State beat Indiana, beat Louisville 4-2 on Saturday, lost yesterday to the Cardinals 11-2. They're now trying to come back and get to the Supers for the first time in program history, but it's certainly uphill here in the 9th inning. 2 balls and no strikes to Parola. The future really is bright for this Missouri Valley Conference program.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. They're going to bring a big part of this roster back. And Steve Holm just showing you what he can do with a team in short period of time. There's no telling where he will take them moving forward. The future is very bright for the Redbirds.
And now 3-1. And Parola can walk or find a way on. The meat of the order coming up and potentially representing the tying run.
Yeah, a walk and things get much different.
Through the hole, left side, base hit Parola. His 7th hit of the regional. Man, has he had a good week.
Really has. Congrats to that young man, the senior, making the postseason for the first time in his career, and he has certainly shown up.
Now the tying run does come to the plate in Jordan Libman.
And Joe Isles on deck, the Missouri Valley Conference Player of the Year, waiting on deck for a potential chance to tie up this game.
Libman wrapped into a double play to end the 1st. Had a sacrifice bunt, which led to the only run for Illinois State in the 4th, and then popped out to the shortstop in the 6th inning. And he's behind in the count here. 0-1. Nick Bennett started this game. Brian Hoeing was terrific in relief. Jared Poland had a big one inning of relief, and now Michael Kirian trying to finish it off for the Louisville Cardinals and get them to the Supers. The 0-1. Just 3 hits for Illinois State.
That swing will tell you all you need to know if you're Roger Williams. Jordan Libman swung at that ball when it was in the catcher's mitt. You could tell he was definitely thinking about the breaking ball. I'd go right back to the heater here.
Just got a piece of it.
When he did, he went
that was
right,
92 miles an hour.
Right back to the fastball, and Libman again really late on that swing. Just barely got a piece of it, and it popped out of the mid of Henry Davis. You can see that's what we call an emergency hack.
Davis mad at himself that he didn't hang on for strike 3. Great defensive swing there by Libman to stay alive.
Boy, he is really committed to not letting the breaking ball beat him. And this is all those fastballs have been away. To me, when you see somebody really letting the ball travel right there, you definitely have some room to throw it in. Obviously, you don't want to risk hitting him. But I think if he runs one up and in right here, he gets him. Back to the fastball.
The 1-2.
Oh,
breaking pitch. Could be 2. To second for 1. Not in time on the double play. Libman beat it out, and Illinois State still has a pulse.
I thought I saw Henry Davis put down a 1, but he must have put down a 2, and it looked like Fitzgerald was a little in between what he wanted to do, but gives Levy a perfect feed. This is an accurate feed right to the chest of Justin Levy with a really strong throw. Libman just a little too quick and beats it out by a step.
How fitting that Isles is going to get a chance to be a hero again for Illinois State here in the 9th. All 3 of his runs batted in here in this regional have either given Illinois State the lead or tied the game. He's got 10 homers on the year. And Kirian starts him high.
Yeah, this is it. I mean, you know, we're talking about 1 out away from a super regional. If you're Illinois State, what a perfect guy to have up to bat. You got your dude up to bat with a chance to tie the game up. Doesn't get much better than this.
Libman at first. And the Missouri Valley Conference Player of the Year, Joe Isles, at the plate. The 1-0. 2-0. And there is Michael McAveen's jersey. They're thinking about him. He's the suspended player. This would normally be his spot, but it's Kirian's job now to get that last out. The 2-0 pitch. Line drive to center. Should end the game. No! Trey Leonard misplays it. Libman coming around. He's going to score, and Isles is at third base. An error in center field, and it's a 1-run ball game.
Wow. Trey Leonard, who came on as a pinch runner, gets hit what looked like kind of a knuckleball, and you see he puts the brakes on because he thought he had it, and the ball just nosedives right at his feet. And the Cardinals go from celebrating to the tying run just 90 feet away.
And Roger Williams, the pitching coach, is going to come to the mound. Trey Leonard brought into the game for his speed, not his defensive ability, that's for sure. but he's been in center field the last few innings. Nothing's happened until that moment.
Yeah, you know, yesterday when they shifted their outfield, they put Campbell in center and Stringer was in right. And a little surprising, maybe he didn't go with Campbell to play center field just because of the incredible weekend he's had with the glove. And nobody feels worse than Trey Leonard right now. A ball that just looked like it was kind of fluttering on him, and when he put the brakes on and he thought he had it measured, he was wrong as that ball just squeaked underneath his glove. And now, boy, tense times here in Louisville.
First error of the game for the Cardinals, and they're hoping it's just a footnote. Joe Butler comes to the plate. He has an RBI single in 3 trips. Kirian starts him with a breaking ball. Boy, he has confidence in that pitch.
Yeah, that's a beautiful pitch right there. First pitch breaking ball. Lands it beautifully in the strike zone. Opens up the rest of the AB once you get ahead with a breaking ball.
There's Isles. Ready to go on a pass ball, trying to tie this game. The 0-1 pitch. Line drive! Base hit! And we're tied. Illinois State has scored 2 here in the 9th, and we're even at 3. Second run batted in for Joe Butler.
And Trey Leonard can't believe it. Unbelievable at bat right there. Back-to-back breaking balls, and Joe Butler inside outs one right over the head of Justin Levy. That's the second time he's done that in this game, Clay. He had the first RBI base hit right over the head of Levy as well.
And the Redbirds aren't done. Jeremy Gaines will get a chance here in the 9th. He's 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. 2 runs in the 9th for Illinois State, showing the tenacity and the grit that they earned and worked for through that hard non-conference schedule they put together in the course of the year. And they have a lot of character. Strike 1 to Gaines.
Wow. It's just, this is one of those moments, as if you're Kirian, you got to hang with it. You thought you had the game closed out. Illinois State catches a break and then capitalizes it with a big RBI base hit. And now you got to regroup and make some pitches, as the mood in this building has changed drastically over the last few pitches.
That insurance run we talked about for Louisville in the 8th inning, driven in by Jake Snyder with that RBI double, looks extremely big now.
Wow.
First runs for Illinois State since the 4th inning. You got that 1 in the 4th, 2 here in the 9th to stay alive and keep their dreams of their first Super Regional in play. Wonder where Michael McAveen is watching this from.
Yeah, you know, it's got to be a tough spot, the fact he's not been able to be out there. But give Kirian credit, man. He's made all the pitches. He had a chance to get him off the field.
The 0-2, runner goes, and this throw is going to get into center field. Joe Butler thought about going to third, but Wally Kranzer, the third base coach, puts up the stop sign. He'll stay put. But he's in scoring position now for Jeremy Gaines, who's having a battle here with Kirian. Gaines had that tough play in the first inning in left field, a fielding error of his own that led to the first Louisville run. Maybe he could be the hero again. He drove in the game-winning RBIs against Louisville on Friday. was actually on Saturday. Let's go back to it. This is Jeremy Gaines and his big moment.
Yeah, what a moment that would be as we get a look at Joe Isles, Missouri Valley Conference Player of the Year, has been a star for this club as well. Jeremy Gaines with the at-bat of his life right here gets a chance to start in this game. What a moment this would be for him.
One-two pitch. 2-2. Joe Butler ties the game with a base hit here in the ninth. He's at second base. The left-hander Michael Kirian getting the signs. See what he brings here on 2-2.
I like it. Joe Butler playing aggressive. We talked about Louisville playing aggressive. Joe Butler doing the same thing, making Kirian think a little bit. Sometimes all you got to do is distract the pitcher just a little bit.
Struck him out. Inning is over, but the damage done. 2 runs for Illinois State. Can Louisville win it in the bottom of the ninth? An error in center field. A big, costly mistake for the Cardinals. Back at the NCAA Baseball Regionals presented by Capital One. High drama as we go to the bottom of the ninth. Steve Holm on the left, Dan McDonnell on the right. The Redbirds trying to get to their first super. Louisville their 8th. As the Cardinals let a 2-run lead get away in the top of the ninth. A fielding mistake.
Yeah, fielding mistake by a young man who just entered the game shortly before.
Justin Levy leading it off for Louisville. They can still walk this one off. Justin Levy, Leonard, and Davis, the scheduled hitters here in the ninth.
And now you got to bounce back because you guys were, everybody was ready to dogpile on the mound, and now you're in a dog fight. So can you bounce back?
Gilmore misses just off the plate inside.
A leadoff walk would change the way this inning is going to unfold, because with Leonard on deck, you know you're probably getting a bunt, and he can really, really run.
Strike called. It's 3-1. Justin Levy. 1 for 3 today, an infield single in the 5th. And the Louisville second baseman draws the leadoff walk here in the ninth. And Leonard, who made that fielding gaffe in center field moments ago, will get a chance to redeem himself.
Yeah, well, we're going to get a bunt here. There is no doubt about it. Question is, can Gilmore settle in and start throwing strikes?
Steve Holm is coming out.
He's going to talk to his left-hander about what he wants from him here, I'm sure, on the defensive side of things.
A couple of arms we have not seen from Illinois State in this regional. 2 of their top bullpen arms. Senior right-hander Mitch Vogren, sophomore right-hander Jack Anderson, still very fresh. In fact, Vogren's down there in the pen. It's number 24. But Steve Holm is going to stay with the guy he's got. Gilmore is going to continue to work for Illinois State. In Trey Leonard's defense, that was hit right at him, and that was a very tough play.
like I said, it really did look like the ball was kind of knuckling.
Yeah.
And you could see when he stopped, he thought he had it judged, and the wind's kind of shifted today where it's blowing in a little bit, and it looked like the ball just nosedived on him. And he had it measured. He thought he had it measured, and then the ball just kind of sunk underneath his glove.
Oh, Torres pounces on it, but that seems like a missed opportunity for Justin Levy.
I think it was, and I can understand being a little conservative there after the second ball, but it looked like Justin Levy could really run. It looked like he had plenty of time to go. But once you don't get that first read, you certainly don't want to go without any momentum.
Good bunt. Butler's going to go to second. Got him! Second base umpire Jeff Macias calls him out, and I'm sure we're going to go to the headset. Levy forced out on the throw by Butler. At least that's the call on the field.
I love the way Joe Butler plays third base. I mean, this kid, if you want to know how to play third base in a sure bunt situation, watch how close Joe Butler is to the hitter. This ball's on the first base side, and Joe Butler is in there, and he comes up and throws a strike, but Justin Levy beats that one.
Yeah, he is safe.
I thought he was safe live, and I think he's safe now. Let's watch here. Safe. I think the heel of the foot gets there, and Huggins kind of has to go take a deep route there as he catches that ball. See how Huggins has to go back kind of towards the outfield side, and I think the foot is there before the catch. My guess is this one will be overturned. What a play by Joe Butler, though. I just love to see guys go for it. Everybody just picks it up and throws it to first base. Joe Butler went for it.
How about the job by Leonard, who, you know, his heart is in his stomach after what happened last game. He got that bunt down.
Yeah, he did.
And it appears, you know, based on what we're seeing here, that this is going to be overturned, and there's going to be 2 on, nobody out. Game-winning run in scoring position.
And that's the risk you take. But look, the run on first doesn't matter, right? So if you throw it to second and the guy's safe, if you throw it to first, there'd be a guy on second anyway. Now, you miss a chance in and out. But I just see so many people play it conservatively, and it wouldn't surprise me if that's what Steve Holm went out there to talk to them about. Like, hey, guys, we are selling out for the play at second base. And even with the speedy runner, it just shows that if a third baseman is playing in and playing aggressively, you can get that lead runner.
It's a very professional approach, the way Steve Holm handles his roster's pitching staff.
No doubt about it.
His professional baseball background, pretty recent.
Joe Butler has just, I mean, not only has he impressed with the bat in this game, but
yeah,
he has really played well with the glove.
Here we go. It's safe. It's overturned. Justin Levy safe at second. He's in scoring position, and Davis up next. And now Steve Holm is going to bring Jacob Gilmore out of the game, and here comes Mitch Vogren. We step aside. Louisville lost a 2-run lead in the 9th, but they have a chance to win it here. Game-winning run in Justin Levy out at second base. Nobody out, and Mitch Vogren is the new pitcher for Illinois State.
As you said, Clay, the senior who has been given a number of appearances. This is 25th appearance for this club. What a moment for him. His first postseason action comes with the game on the line, and my guess is he's going to have to field his position right there. I think we're gonna get a bunt from Henry Davis. Then if he gets it down, my guess is they will walk Logan Wyatt to load the bases and create a force out. We very well may end up with Tyler Fitzgerald with a chance to win the game.
First right-hander that Louisville is facing today. They have feasted on right-handers during this regional. Lefties not so much. And there's Davis getting it down, and well done. They'll look to third, don't have a play. They get the out at first. Davis carried the bat halfway up the line because he was holding it above his head in celebration for getting that bunt down.
Yeah, well, he might want to run just because of what happened. The first baseman made a pump fake to third. This is where you drop the bat and fly, dude. We don't need to be celebrating sack bunts. You never know what might happen. He's not even running. And that's here we go. We get the intentional walk to Logan Wyatt and Tyler Fitzgerald with a chance to send Louisville to the Super Regionals.
Bases loaded. But the only run that matters, or runner that matters, is Justin Levy at third. And Tyler Fitzgerald, 1 for 3 today, a single and a run scored in the 8th. And at the time, it looked like an insurance run. First pitch, breaking ball fouled off. Louisville with 3 walk-off wins this year. The last one coming in March against Georgia Tech. Of course, Georgia Tech was the number 3 national seed. They got ousted by Auburn in Atlanta.
Looking for something up in the zone right here. Just something up in the zone that you can move to the outfield.
Bogren's pitch. Pulled foul, 0-2. Behind Fitzgerald is Alex Pinellas, who is hitless today. Struck out his last time up. Fitzgerald wants to end it here.
Back-to-back breaking balls to start this at bat, and even if he hits those, it's a ground ball somewhere. You're going to have to get lucky and find a hole. Got to try to go down and get below that breaking ball if you're going to swing at it.
Foul again.
That's a pretty good 12-6 curveball. We got a fan getting on the field trying to get a loose ball.
That's the beauty of college baseball. At a major league game, he'd have been arrested for that. The 0-2 to Fitzgerald. Wow. It's a battle here with Bogren.
Another breaking ball. You think at some point Bogren's going to maybe try to climb the ladder with a fastball.
There's Justin Levy, just 90 feet away from Super Regional glory for Louisville. And they would host it here next week. Again, the 0-2. Blocked by Zoris. Campbell and ECU battling in Greenville. The winner of that regional plays the winner of this regional. ECU has gone up 9-3 in the 6th.
You can tell Tyler Fitzgerald's starting to see that breaking ball. That's the first one he really looked like he got a good look at.
The 1-2. Ground ball. Chopped to Butler. He bobbles it. But they still get the out at the plate. Joe Butler has been so good defensively. And he almost had an error there at third base, but he recovers in time to get the force.
The poise. It's so easy to panic right here. Look at this bare hand and throws a strike. What a play by Joe Butler after missing the initial catch. Has the poise to hang in there and rip a strike to Nick Zoris to keep this game tied. And now the freshman All-American gets a chance to put his stamp on this ball game.
Alex Pinellas back up the middle, base hit, and Louisville is going to the Super Regionals. The freshman from Wisconsin getting it done for the Cardinals in the bottom of the 9th.
What a ball game.
What a regional. Louisville, for the 8th time in program history, is going to the Super Regionals, and they will be here next week against either ECU or Campbell. and sheer happiness.
Yes, what a scene. You get to lift it all on the line in this one. The Cardinals just made one more play at the end, but man, give it up for the Redbirds. What an effort by those kids all weekend long. And they certainly played like champions.
They sure did.
The Cardinals just made one more play.
Alex Binelas with his 57th run batted in of the year, and it's going to send him to the Super Regionals. He swung at the first pitch from Mitch Bogren and took it right back up the box.
We had seen nothing but breaking balls from Bogren at till that point. He throws a first pitch breaking ball to Binelas, who's sitting on it. The Cardinals are celebrating. The Redbirds are devastated, and that's the nature of sports. Elation and devastation all at the same time, depending on what side of the field you're on. What an end to this ball game. And you know Trey Leonard's fired up. And how about a moment for the freshman All-American, the walk-off winner to send the Cardinals to the Super Regional.